Standoff between Riverlea residents and illegal miners continue to keep law enforcement authorities on their toes, as specialised units have already been deployed to the area. Police Minister Pule is in Riverlea today to assess the progress made since the last visit there. Pule Letshwiti-Jones is monitoring the situation for us, and he's on the ground. Pule, if you can hear me, we heard from Minister Pule earlier, and he said that a long-term plan, which is what residents have been pleading for, a long-term plan will be presented to the President tomorrow. But what can you tell us?
Yeah, definitely. That's what he said. Plan, but most importantly that he will be, or the Justice Cluster and Security and Peace Cluster will be meeting the President tomorrow just to try and find a solution to this unending crisis of Zamazamas, particularly in the Gauteng area as well. But without any waste of time, I'm going to be joined by one of the community leaders in the area of Riverlea who spoke today and presented some solutions as well. Well, the minister saying that there will be some sort of a solution to this unending crisis which will be permanent. As a community of Riverlea, what's your take? Are you coming forward? Do you think these promises will be lived up to?
Well, as you heard me speak earlier, I said that we are not blaming the police for crimes. We're blaming them when they do not act on crimes. And I actually spoke very much in support of the police, if you can recall. The thing here that's imperative is it's the continuity that the community now needs. The community wants to see active. What we don't want is the harassment of the community. But if there's criminals living in and amongst our community, then of course they must be dealt with, especially if they're also enhancing the struggles of our people. But the main issue here is we want the police, together with legislation. You see, here's the thing. The police can only do what legislation provides for them. So we want the legislators to know that they need to step up in terms of housing. For example, the illegal occupants of the Zamampilo area, which in fact is a key area. We heard there's four lines there. We have a gas line going under there. We have Eskom lines going through there. We've got a petrol going through there. If one of those pipes explode, the whole of Horseshoe, the one side of Riverlea Extension 2 will explode. Houses will go up like the taxis the other day in Bree Street. What we want here is concomitant action. I don't know if you heard the word before. Our president used that word before. And I'm saying we need concomitant action now. We were tired of rhetoric. We're tired of... That's why the community took the matters in their own arms, in their own hands, because it became a problem. And so we're saying, and we're taking the words, and we see a sense of sincerity. What we're going to do is we're going to obviously audit, we're going to monitor, and we're going to see if the minister is going to hold true to his word, which I feel he would at this junction, because it's the umpteenth time now that he comes to Riverlea and to surroundings and to speak to our people. Our people are hopeful, and we thank the police and the government for now coming forth to understand our plight, to help us. We're not anti-human, but we're anti-crime. And what we see now is crime. For example, there was a house in Riverlea Extension 2, commonly known as Horseshoe. Many moons ago, when this thing, Zama thing, reared its ugly head first time, do you know that one of the guys actually was found knocking under the foundation of one of the houses, thinking here's something here, only to find out people are knocking back and shouting, hey, what are you doing under the house? They actually came under the homes. And that's when the problem started becoming ugly, and our people are just G-fool. Everybody knows what it means.
Thank you very much. Of course, I will be chatting to you again later, but I just want to bring in this young man here as well. Thank you very much for speaking to us, also raising some of the problems that are in your area in relation to crime. What is it that you want the police to do going on from here onwards? Because you said a mouthful as well, particularly with how young people are affected in this area.
I've said a mouthful so that the police can do their job, come in, mobilize, search young people, see what we are carrying, because it's a threat to the community. Yeah. And I also said that the government needs to come into play, because we have companies around here who are hiring illegal immigrants. And there's young South Africans. I'm standing for young South Africans. I'm from Action SA. They need to be coming in and helping young people get those jobs, because China Mall, we have seen China Mall. China Mall is hiring illegal immigrants. They're not hiring South Africans. We want that to change, because that mall was built in South African soil. Do you understand? That has to change. South Africans first, and the others will come secondly. We're not saying we can't live with immigrants, but we need people who are legal, not illegal, to be in our country. That's what we want. So the government should listen to us. They should know that as young people, we are frustrated. Well, this is what we want for young people. Yes.
And you spoke about as well the schools that are nearby where the shootouts happen often, where Zamazamas are shooting at each other, saying it's a concern.
Yeah, it is a concern because there's young people who are at the age of 6, 7 until 13 going to that school. Imagine a young child is being terrorized, he sees things like this and he's going to get trauma, he's not going to sleep. Yes.
Thank you very much as well. I just want to, Byron, if you can allow me, I also saw I spotted the spokesperson of the Johannesburg ANC caucus, Mr. Masilo. And I want to speak to ANC region in Johannesburg. And I want to speak to you about something. The residents are complaining about the councillor in the area, who I believe is also part of the ANC as well. Does this, raise a bit of concern as to how there should be better training for the councillors, because they talk about him not communicating and him not attending the meetings that are in relation to some of the community challenges?
No, thanks very much. Look, the ANC in Johannesburg is concerned about that issue that was raised by community with regards to our councillor. I think we will have a conversation with the councillor with regards to the concern raised by the community. But safe to say that whatever shortcomings that are happening in this particular area, the ANC will address them swiftly and speedily. By Monday, we should be having a community meeting where the councillor must go to all the sections in the area to go and report back about what really happened here. Also, including giving them regular public meeting schedules as part of his community work.
Okay. Thank you very much. Of course, that's one of the spokespeople of the ANC in the Johannesburg region. But as you can see in front there, the Minister of Police, continuing to engage with some of the residents of Riverlea who are quite concerned about the crime happening in their area, but particularly also wanting for permanent change, saying that there should be visible policing in the area. One of the residents warning the police ministry, of course, and other stakeholders who were here to say that they will do the policing themselves if this will just be a promise with no implementation.
All right, thank you so much for that update. Pule Letshwiti-Jones in Riverlea. Of course, a lot's been happening in that area, and the issue of illegal mining is definitely a huge issue in Riverlea. We've seen what's been happening these last few days between rival Zamazama groups and the police as well. 194 suspects have been arrested thus far, and more arrests can be expected, as the police minister himself said. And he did say that there will be much needed intervention when it comes to illegal mining in that area. It's not going to be an overnight process. It's going to need a long-term plan, and that plan will be presented to the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, tomorrow.